What's up, guys? Tambo here with our Week 2 NFL Core Report. Week 2 was a monster for our experts, with many on the Tua stack in that Baltimore and Miami game stack, but nobody was higher on the Miami-Baltimore game stacks than our guy, Big T himself. Tony's player pool, available to premium members, focused primarily on the Baltimore shootout, as well as the Commanders-Lions game, adding in high-scoring wide receivers, including Amon-Ra St. Brown being in his core plays. Tony had a nice day, profiting over $83,000, and our members followed suit, dominating the slate in Week 2. Nadesify hit for $1K on FanDuel. Jacob Stubbs won $4,800 on FanDuel. Trev hit for $10,000 on FanDuel, and Chimo had another monster day, shipping over $100,000. The biggest hit of the day, though, came from one of our members, Racer1A, who shipped over $150,000 on DraftKings. If you're not subscribed to our content, what are you even thinking? Go over to our Run Pure Sports YouTube page right now and subscribe, and go visit our homepage at runpuresports.com to sign up for our premium content. Our members consistently crush. Congrats to all those that shared their screenshots this week. There were too many to feature them all, but drop yours in our Members Never Win channel in Discord for a chance at a future shoutout. Until next week, good luck in your contest, and let's keep running pure.
Hey, let's talk some baseball. The boys just did the Showdown. I've got a show coming up with JJ right here on this channel, on the Run Pure Sports channel. We're going to break down some player props. Mangone's a busy man. We're not going to have him this week, but we do have him on baseball. We also have Gary here today for baseball. Lock is in 31 minutes, so we are going to fly through this show. Before we do that, Gary, were you called in because DC was too chicken shit to do this show because he lost the bet to Big T, thinking that the Pirates offense would actually perform when they didn't?
I didn't think about that at the time when he messaged me to sub in for him. He didn't give an explanation. I'll put it that way. He's probably a little embarrassed. He doesn't want to show his face to the public today. But he's on the Twitter machine, so
he's probably at Coors.
Find him over there.
He's probably at Coors watching the game. Probably rode his bike down there, getting trashed. He'll drive home on his bike, and that'll be that. Mangone, how are we today? You're busy. We got Showdown coming up. We do have some money to make in baseball, though. Do you think DC did chicken shit out, or is he just hanging out at the ballpark and doesn't care?
Is he actually going to the game? I feel like he's not going to the game.
Yeah, he's not.
It's cold, man. I don't think he wants to be out there.
It's beautiful now. Have you been outside in the last hour? It's gorgeous, finally.
No, not in the past hour. I have not been out. So hopefully it's gotten better, but we'll see. I think I'm going out. I'm going out a little later, so hopefully it gets a little better.
Yeah, it's nice. It's beautiful and refreshing, but we don't have time to talk about the weather unless it's Major League Baseball weather. Any concerns tonight, Gary? Is everything okay, or we're fine, right?
Yeah, we're good with weather.
And we got Judge going for 61 with the Yankees and the Red Sox. We will hammer out the pitching side of things. Let's begin there, guys. We got Verlander, the Biebs, Woodruff, Fried. Gary, I'm going to come right to you here. What's the pitching pool tonight? And can you start with Verlander?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very interesting slate. Just overall, we don't have any totals over 4.3. Which is odd for a bigger slate, 8-game slate. And there's a lot of pitchers in play tonight. Not a lot of offenses that I liked when I did my initial dive. But yeah, I mean, Justin Verlander, 10.7K. I mean, he's going for the Cy Young tonight. I would assume this was probably his last start of the year. Maybe he gets one more, but I think they just give him an off day his next time through the rotation before the playoffs start. But I'm not going to pay 10.7K for him on this slate. There's just a lot of high upside arms that are really underpriced tonight. I'm gonna go that route. But I do like Shane Bieber a lot here. He's coming off of a couple of incredible performances, 8 innings against Minnesota, 6 innings. He's just been really good recently, so I like him a ton. Brandon Woodruff is another guy. Incredible matchup here. It's in Cincinnati. I'm not really thrilled with that, but man, since the Cincinnati lineup is just not good. 9,200 seems a little bit too cheap for him. He's probably going to be the chalk pitcher on the slate, but I'm fine eating that. And then another guy above 8.1K that's just really too cheap. It's really disrespectful. Max Fried, 8,300. I think this is the lowest price he's been all season.
Why?
I have no idea. I mean, he's had a couple of mediocre performances over his last couple of starts against Philly and Seattle. Then he, even 8 against Colorado. So, but he still has a third or fourth swinging strike rate on the slate. His strikeout stuff has really not been there, but he's still getting swings and misses. So the strikeouts will come. I like this spot for him. He's going to be low owned tonight too, even at 8,300 with all these other options on the board. So up top, I think I'm just going to stick with Bieber, Woodruff, and Max Fried.
Okay. And just some news out here. I just got the Dodgers lineup. No Mookie Betts tonight. No Mookie Betts if you're looking at playing a little bit of Dodgers action. So talk to me here. Mangone pitching tonight. Verlander's a big name, but what do you think about that price on Max Fried, DK?
Yeah, Max Fried's he's in play, but I'm not dying to go there. I think I prefer Brandon Woodruff if I had to pick, but I am a little worried about the ballpark. Obviously, he's got a little bit of a better strikeout prop than a Max Fried. He's got one of the best props in the slate at 6.5 with the juice on the over. Do think he's going to be a pretty good option that I look to go to, but I'm worried about the ballpark, right? It's definitely not a glamorous park to have your pitcher in. There's a reason why there's not a lot of good pitchers in Cincinnati and Coors, mainly Coors, because pitchers don't want to pitch there because it's not great for them. I think overall, Shane Bieber, pretty good option. Justin Verlander, if you have the money to 10-7, he's perfectly fine. I just don't know if I'm be able to get the money. When I've been kind of running some stuff here, I just have not liked what I have seen so far with some of these spend up builds. I think I'm going maybe one of them. I think it's perfectly fine. Brandon Woodruff at 9.2 is likely my favorite one if we consider him a spend up right now. That's kind of mainly, he's probably my number one, and then Bieber's probably my number 2, followed by Verlander at number 3. And I think ownership should be decently spread out with these guys at the top. The big difference is Woodruff will be the guy that has the most ownership. You might see him like double a Bieber or Verlander up top, Holden.
All right. So is that the pool? What's the pool here then? What are we doing?
All right. Well, the pool. All right. So I am considering some other cheap options. Let's see. So like Jameson Taillon has a pretty good projection, but I'm not a big Taillon guy, so I'm not going to gravitate towards him. Another guy that has a pretty good strikeout prop today and decent projection is Hunter Green at 7.5K. But that ballpark is a little bit worrisome. So not really dying to go there. And I don't think his ownership is going to be that high, even though his strikeout prop is pretty good. The guy down low that I think people are going to go to, but not a ton of ownership will be there, is going to be Mitch Keller. I think people will look at him against the Cubs. Don't think he's a bad play. He's got a 5.5 strikeout prop. Think he's interesting. Jose Barrios is another one that has a very similar projection and should be similar ownership to Mitch Keller, where I don't think you're getting this like big discount in ownership to take that shot at, but it's someone that's in play because we know how Tampa Bay is. It's a ballpark that we like to attack. So I think he's in the conversation as guys that we can go to. But overall right now, Holden, I'm looking to definitely, I think, get Woodruff in there and then trying to figure out who that SB2 is going to be. That could be maybe like a bit of a different option. Like I think at the top, like I said, Bieber is probably my number 2 if I have the salary for it, but I kind of want to jam some Yankees in there today. So I don't know if I'm going to end up getting there. I might want to find one of these cheaper options. You could take a shot on a Ranger Suarez, but man, attacking the Braves doesn't seem like a profitable idea today. So I don't know if that'll be the guy I go to. It's looking like it's either going to be going up to Bieber for me, or then I might just go down to like a Barrios or a Keller there. Maybe I can get behind the Fried thing if the salaries work out, but I want to make sure I get in my 5-man Yankee stacks and the guys that I want. That's going to be something that I definitely prioritize. I'm going to Woodruff first, getting my Yankee stack in there second, and then figuring out what fits with my SP2 and my mini stacks.
Okay. Gary, any final thoughts on pitching? You want to give Mangone a play here?
I mean, so there's SP2. There's one other guy here. I'm not in on Barrios. I'm not in on Ranger Suarez. I'm not in on Taillon. Hayden Wesneski. I don't know how to say his name. The Cubs pitcher. I like both pitchers in that game. He's 6,900. His projection's not standing out, but man, this guy he's made a couple starts now. He's coming off a 20+ DK point performance in his last start. He went 7 innings, 88 pitches. Anytime I can get a pitcher like that to go into Pittsburgh against this awful Pittsburgh team, he's not a highly touted prospect at all. I like running hot streaks in baseball, and this pitcher's hot. I like him quite a bit here. But Mitch Keller is by far my favorite guy. He's just underpriced here. You got a 2K discrepancy between DraftKings and FanDuel with him. He's 7,800 on FanDuel, and I think he's my favorite option over there on FanDuel as well. Even at 7,800, I think he just gets 6 or 7 clean innings here, gets us the quality start, and we can move on about our day.
Wisniewski is about 25 years old. He's been 25 years old in just a little bit. He got rocked at AAA Iowa to a 5.66 ERA, and now 2 of his 3 starts here. He was a reliever. 2 of his 3 starts here, he's just crushed. And you're right. What was it? He has an 8K performance, a 7K performance, and 2 of these 3. So that's not a bad look. Yeah. Do you think
for Wisniewski, one thing I'm noticing, like the captain's pitching projections, I mean, he's got one of the highest projections on the slate from the projections that captain does. So he's got a 4.5K prop. I like him a little bit here, and he's not going to be on 5% or less.
Hey, like button would be great. I know there's a short show. We got to get done within 22 minutes. So we're hustling here. We got 8 games to blow through. We will get through that. But give us a like if you get a second. That'd be wonderful. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, bottom right-hand corner, little red button. Let's get into this here. So Mangone, Gary, again, if there's a game, you don't need to break it down. If you're not on it, just say pass. All right. So we can start with the Cubs or the Pirates. Mangone, do you want to go to the DC route and think that the Pirates are going to score 3 runs? Are we full fade in this game? Or is there somebody in the Cubs we can play?
There's some options I think that you can play here in this game. I won't completely ignore it. One guy I think he's going to be, probably like the cash game option today, which hey, you do it that you want that information. He's going to have some ownership is O'Neal Cruz. I think he's definitely someone that can take Wisniewski yard. If you want to take one-offs here, I don't mind it, cheap one-offs, maybe it's a Cal Mitchell. Don't think that'd be the worst idea. If you can spend up on a Brian Reynolds, don't think that's a bad one-off option that you could go to, or even a Jack Suwinski. There's definitely options here that I don't think are bad as one-offs, like Ian Happ at 4.3K. We could see Mitch Keller go 6 innings, get 7 strikeouts, and give up a run, and it could be an Ian Happ home run. So mainly looking at that. Also, Yan Gomes is 2.9K at the catcher position, which I know is definitely a solid option. Should probably be owned in cash. Should be a little bit chalkier in tournaments too, mainly because 2.9K hitting in the 4-hole. That's pretty good. And maybe having him as a one-off or in a 2-man stack of Ian Happ and Yan Gomes, not terrible, and a little bit of leverage off Mitch Keller. So these guys are in play, but it's more as the 2-man or 1-man, just one-off options that I'd be looking at today.
All right, give it to me, Gary. What do we got? Cubs, Pirates.
I like both pitchers in this game, so I'm off the bats here.
Okay. Then we got another game and another game and another game. Milwaukee and Cincinnati, my friend. We don't want to play any Cincinnati bats. Do you want to mess with Hunter Green, Gary? Do we want to target this dude either? Because boy, did he look good in these last 2 starts. He absolutely dominated against the Cardinals, and the Marlins was the other one, wasn't it? He's been spectacular.
Yeah, that last start too, he was coming off the injured list and just dominated the Cardinals. 11 strikeouts, just really incredible. But man, this Milwaukee team can beat them up here in this small park. So I don't hate the lefties here. I'm not going overboard. It's not a main team type play for me, but I do have interest in the Milwaukee lefties for sure.
All right, what do you think here, man? Going Milwaukee, Cincinnati?
Yeah, it's obviously a good ballpark. We can't ignore it. Milwaukee is going to be a team that I think gets some ownership today. Rowdy Tellez, good price tag at 4.2K, can obviously hit up Green. I think you got a decent price tag on Colton Wong. If you have the money, like Christian Yelich, good option as well. Overall, I think these Brewers are in play because of this ballpark. And Hunter Green, yes, he does have the ability to go big, but does have the ability to kind of get wild at times and get blown up. And we know we get that Cincinnati bullpen lurking behind him, right? Let's say he doesn't have a great game, goes 4 innings, gives up 5 runs. We have 5 innings of the Cincinnati bullpen. Holden, how do we not have some type of interest? I think they're a good play. I'm just trying to see if they fit as my mini stack along with, my Yankees. Maybe it's a one-off of a Rowdy Tellez. Maybe it's a one-off of a Willie Adames. Jace Peterson could be an interesting guy. There's a lot of good plays amongst this lineup to go to. They're not going to be a 5-man stack for me, but more of a mini stack.
Tampa Bay, Toronto. By the way, the Blue Jays just do not have very good luck in Tampa Bay recently. The Rays have just beat the hell out of them. That being said, on the other side, Vlad Guerrero, little Vladdy Daddy, 3-run blast last night. 306, 338, 532 slash during his 14-game hit streak. Blue Jays 17-33 at Tropicana Field, by the way. But that doesn't matter for DFS, Mangone. We got to consider a red-hot Vladdy, don't we?
Yeah, I think you do have to consider Vladdy always. Like, he's definitely in play, but more as like a one-off if you have the money and you're just going all the way spend down. I just hate this ballpark. It's one I really don't go to that much, Holden. So if one of these like Blue Jays falls in as a one-off that has power, it's fine. But other than that, I'm really not that excited for it. You can always make an argument like if a cheap Ray pops in your lineup, maybe it's this guy, Jonathan Aranda. One thing that I obviously like about Jose Berrios, lefty just absolutely cracking. Now, this is not a ballpark I love, but if it's a one-off that helps makes things work and it's a lefty, sure, I won't absolutely just blow it off.
Hey, Gary, talk to me here about this Jays lineup and Vladimir Guerrero. I mean, if we're paying up for Judge tonight and we're paying up for Woodruff, I don't know how you're going to get Vladdy in there, but boy, he's looking good right now.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts pretty much mirror exactly what Mangone said there. It's just hunting one-off, power one-offs for me on this slate. I like other spots more. I like the Yankees more. I like Cleveland more. I like the Braves more. So I'm not going to get there on this slate, but I will say I don't ever hate a low-owned Matt Chapman, and he's low-owned, projected to be low-owned. He's coming off a home run 2 games ago, so definitely don't hate it, but more one-offs and maybe a two-man mini stack, but I won't be having much tonight.
All right, we'll have some time to spend on a couple other games that are a little bit juicier. Thumbs up for us would be great. We're 53 likes. There's going to be, I get it, this probably won't be as many people watching this show. It's Thursday Night Football. We came on a little bit late. We got Showdown. We're doing some baseball here. But if you are watching, help us out. As always, we'd really appreciate it. Like button and subscribe. So, gentlemen, can I interest anybody in the Orioles against Verlander or Kyle Bradish, who goes to the mound tonight? And Bradish is a guy that doesn't give up many home runs. Maybe the Astros can kind of work their way through this lineup, Gary. Houston, Baltimore. Give me the breakdown.
I kind of like Houston quite a bit here. I think their team total is way too low in this spot. I mean, Jordan Alvarez profile is really good against Bradish. He's a massive fly ball hitter, and Bradish is pumping 60% ground ball rates versus left-handed bats. So he profiles really good here, and they're not going to be owned on this slate either. So I like Tucker, I like Bregman, I like Alvarez, even Aledmys Diaz. He's really cheap. He's been hitting the ball pretty good for 3,500. Don't hate that. I like him for a 5-man. I like him for a 3-man. So yeah, I have a lot of interest here in the Astros.
Ooh, Mangone, you got any interest in the Astros tonight?
No real interest in the Astros, Holden. Just to keep it quick, let's keep this thing moving along.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, we can take our time now because we rush so much. We got 4 games, 15 minutes. We're going to be just fine. Mangone, it's your turn to go first, but I'm sure you don't mind deferring to Gary here as the Braves are visiting the Phillies. We talked about Max Fried, 8,300 on DK, a little cheap. Do we want to target Ranger Suarez, Gary?
I'm not going to be doing it tonight. I tried it his last start and it didn't work out. I think he's averaging. Suarez has got like 16 DraftKings points each of the last 3 times he's played the Braves, and only given up, 1 or 2, maybe 3 runs with really no home runs. He's just a massive ground ball guy. But man, I can't talk anybody off of playing the Braves against a lefty at any time. I mean, Riley, even TDA, Travis d'Arnaud, he's been really good against lefties this year. William Contreras, do not play Matt Olson. He's completely lost at the plate right now. They finally moved him down 1 spot in the order versus the lefty today. He needs to be a little further down because he's just not seeing the ball really well. So I'm not going to have a ton of Braves here tonight. I like other spots more, and no Phillies for me.
No Phillies. Okay. I'm a little surprised there, to be perfectly honest with you. Mangone, are you on Team Gary here, or can we play some Braves?
No, I'm not really playing any Braves today. Nothing from this game, Holden. I'm kind of sticking to kind of, I think it looks like more Yankees is I'm just counting the Yankees in there and trying to find that one-off team. And like, just Philadelphia and Atlanta doesn't fit that build for me. I mean, it's tough to get in these like high-end Yankees guys, and I'm kind of prioritizing them. And when you prioritize them, I'm just not getting to any of these other bats. I need to get to some cheaper ones just to make it all work.
Boy, so you got to wonder who's gonna bite first on an offense that they like. Mangone, Aaron Judge, 6,500. Now, I think it was Parabay in the chat. Did you say that? Yeah, Parabay. Judge 0 for 14 against Waka. If you're interested in the BVP, it's just 14 at bats though. Mangone is Judge in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no doubt playing Judge. I like him here in this spot. And of course, it's nothing crazy that we're saying here, Holden, but no. I want to make sure I get in these good Yankees on my teams, right? Like sometimes when you run teams and like, I noticed like, hey, like I want to make like the Brandon Woodruff and Bieber thing work. I can't make it work. It's getting too difficult here, at least while I'm on a show. Maybe you can find something, but I'm struggling with it. So I ended up defaulting to going like a Bieber Keller route, giving away some of the core plays, but you got to find out the Yankees that I'm getting in there, right? And the one-offs that I'm going to. So I do think overall that I want to prioritize these top end bats. I don't want my team to have like Harrison Bader, Cabrera, and as I like to call him, Kyle H, because I'm not trying that last name. So like, I want to make sure I got in like 3 or 4 of these big boys, right? So I'm making sure they get into my lineups. I think that if you look, Anthony Rizzo could be a really contrarian pivot because I think a lot of people are going to end up going Rowdy Tellez. I think a lot of people are not just going to jam in Stanton or Judge. I think it's hard to get them both in there with a top end pitchers. Some of them will make it work, obviously, but when you run some teams, sometimes it's Judge and sometimes Stanton is the guy that's kind of left off the list because Cabrera's in there, Bader's in there. So definitely things that you have to look at when building out your lineups. Overall though, love this Yankee stack. I'll be all over it. The contrarian guy that I think gets the most overlooked, Anthony Rizzo, because Anthony Rizzo is a guy that yesterday everyone was tilting about. Oh, he sucks, blah, 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 blah. Dude, yes, Rowdy Tellez is a great play today, but if you play Anthony Rizzo in your Yankee stack, that's a guy that can help you get a little bit different. You're on mute, Holden.
Oh, Muto. You're still on mute.
I know, but Holden, Kyle H is my default. If it was more of a casual show and we weren't in crunch time, I think I would give it an attempt. But we gotta make
Alberto, sure I can understand. Higashioka, come on. Gary, Judge, let's start there. Yes?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. He's in my core on both sites. This little free preview there. It's not earth-shattering news, but man, this guy, I'm going to play him until, he keeps on hitting bombs like every night, even though last night he didn't hit any bombs. He had a few doubles, so it's basically like he hit a bomb last night. He's going to break that thing tonight. He might even go for 2 tonight. Like I said, that's not any hot take, but yeah, I like this Yankees team quite a bit. It's not my favorite 5-man on the slate. We haven't gotten there yet, but yeah, love the Yankees tonight.
Is there anybody you just look at and say, I'm not playing for the Yankees?
I mean, I don't hate it. I never liked Bader. I mean, I had him in my lineup last night, but just because he made things work. But I'm probably not going to go there. I don't mind Higashioka. He's really cheap, so he makes a lot work in your lineup. But yeah.
All right, very good. Did you know the Cardinals have scored 1 run in the past 45 innings until they just scored 5 in the past 4 innings? It's absolutely amazing. And I have ADD. I just read that from my buddy, Greg Peterson. That's an amazing stat. A couple more games to get to here, and nothing, Cleveland and the White Sox. So Bieber and Cueto. Gary, can we go against Cueto tonight?
I think for me, I mean, Johnny Cueto is probably the worst pitcher on this slate. And Cleveland is probably one of the hottest teams in baseball recently. You just look up and down this lineup. They're not hitting for a lot of power, but they're hitting doubles, they're hitting triples, they're hitting singles, they're swiping bags. And I think on a slate like this, when you have a bunch of low totals under 5, that can get the job done. They're just going to string along, all these hits. They have 3 guys over the last week with an OPS over 1,000. So I'm definitely interested in that. Ahmed Rosario has just been on fire. Stephen Kwan has been on fire. Miles Straw has been on fire. Jose Ramirez, always plug him in. And my favorite first base play on the slate, Josh Naylor. I think he goes deep tonight. might be a preview for later. But yeah, I love this Cleveland team. They're just destroying the White Sox hopes and dreams of making the playoffs. And I'm going to keep riding this team while they're hot.
Love it. Mangone, 2 games left. And the one I want you to talk about right now is Cleveland and the White Sox. Do you want to target Johnny Cueto?
I don't, and I understand why Gary wants to, but I will say, like, something's got to give, right? I mean, Johnny Cueto, I'll admit, I haven't been as locked in MLB, but like the dude was literally just mowing for like 4 months long. I don't know if he's gotten killed lately, but I feel like I haven't seen too much.
He's got a 6 xFIP over his last 30 days, which is not good.
True, but like, I mean, what was his xFIP like during that stretch that he was like absolutely just mowing every single day? I mean, I don't know, maybe the regression's finally coming, but the guy was absolutely crushing like all season long. It never made sense. And he's just one of those crafty veterans that, like Big T says it. I agree with him. Sometimes they just have magic and figure it out. But I will admit, I like riding some hot teams, and Cleveland has been hitting the ball pretty well. I don't think it's a bad idea, but again, it's not for me today. I got other spots that I'm already going to. So no Cleveland bats, because like if I play the 5-man Yankees and I prioritize these big boys that I want to get in my lineups, well, how am I getting Jose Ramirez? Do I really want to do like a 2 or 3-man stack of Cleveland? It just doesn't fit my build today, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Okay. We're down to our final game. We got 6 minutes to lock, so we're doing great, guys. Mangone, I don't want to attack Urias. I don't really want to attack Gallen, but we got 8 games tonight. We got the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks have treated us well with little mini stacks here and there. And then there's the Dodgers. What are we doing with these 2 teams?
Yeah, before I talk about that one, let me tell the people to hit the like and subscribe to the channel. I mean, we're here free right before lock, right? We got to get those likes
on a football night.
On a football night. And Holden's doing a prop show soon with JJ, so you got to check that out. Tons of winners over here at Run Pure. Check out all the content that we got. But yeah, I'm not really going to this game too much. I'm perfectly fine with just fading the Dodgers against Gallen. It's not really a spot where I want to attack Gallen. So you know me, hold on. I'm playing these 5-man Yankee stacks right now. So because of that, it's hard to get in Dodgers with them. If you had a one-off of like a Turner, sure, I wouldn't say it's a bad idea. If I can get him in there, I'd love it. But I just can't because of all the guys that I'm jamming in my lineups on this 5-man Yankee stack.
So talk to me here, Gary. What would it take for you to run some Dodgers out there tonight?
Negative. It's not happening. I don't think there's much you can do. I mean, Zach Gallen has been really good. Over since the All-Star break. I mean, you just look at his game logs. I think I wrote him up last time against the Padres, and then they kind of hit him up a little bit. But 30 DraftKings point performance, one after another, like every start since the All-Star break. So yeah, I'm not going to have any Dodgers or any D-backs tonight.
No Dodgers, no D-backs, and we have just wiped the slate clean in an awful timely fashion. Gary, can you give me some FanDuel plays, any FanDuel specific plays this evening? And what are you doing on the one pitcher side? Is it Verlander?
No, so I'm playing Mitch Keller. I'm playing one lineup tonight. And he's 7,800 over there. He's got Laz Diaz as his ump, who is a really extreme pitcher umpire. It's going to help out both pitchers in that game. 7,800 is just really too cheap for him in this spot. I think he goes 6 or 7 clean here. And it's Cleveland and New York for me on FanDuel. So Cleveland's really cheap, and it allows you to spend up and get that 5,300 Aaron Judge in your lineup if you want to. So Cleveland, New York, and Mitch Keller for me.
Mangone, you playing any FanDuel tonight?
Yes, I have a FanDuel core up over on the site, and right now the setup is looking like it's going to be 4 Yankees, making sure I get in the big ones right. I got Bieber on there. And then I got my mini stack, I guess you could say, or the other stack, right? I don't want to give away if it's a 4, 3, or 2-man, but it's the Brewers. So, and then yeah, overall that's kind of my setup. I think again the Brewers, yeah, the Yankees, they might have some type of ownership, but I'm okay with the way I have it set up. I think it's good. I'm all about getting that full lineup ownership and making sure it's good, making sure you got some good guys mixed in there. So that's kind of my overall takeaways on how I'm handling FanDuel.
Wonderful. Let's get to the plays of the day. Then we got a couple of things to say, and then we'll get out of here. And again, I want to remind you, top of the hour, JJ from the bet side and I will be doing propped up. So we'll give our best bets on the player props. I got a couple sides and totals, so that'll be fun too. Gary, What is it? The Homer play of the day? Groundhog play of the day.
Play.
Groundhog, right?
Yeah.
Groundhog play of the day.
Yeah.
What is it?
So I know I mentioned Josh Naylor earlier. I like him a ton here, but I'm going to go with his teammate. I don't think he's going to get that much ownership on this slate at shortstop. I'm going to go Ahmed Rosario as the groundhog play of the day.
Little Ahmed Rosario tonight. All right, Mangone. The Sweet Travis play still, huh? Sweet Travis?
Of course. We'll go with let's go with Anthony Rizzo. He bangs one out, big home run from him, and he helps leverage off a little Rowdy Tellez. So we'll go with Anthony Rizzo as the play of the day.
All right, 2 minutes to lock. I think it's a little bit too late to get up. Mike says we need a Gary and Holden podcast ASAP. What the hell are we going to talk about? Seriously, me and Gary, we're going to talk about the Braves. I mean, it's just not going to work. That's a horrible idea. I'm sorry, but Gary did give us the load, Mike. You're right. He did give us the load. It's a bit offensive, but I'll say that's okay.
Mike is my YouTube troll. He's in there every time.
Oh, you love him though, right?
I don't even know who the guy is.
Oh.
I have no idea.
I mean, you should like him. He's a big fan of yours. You know that he's talking about you all the time, so that's good. Mangone, you got any props for tonight's Thursday night game? What's your best bet? You want to throw one out?
I do. It's on twitter.com. So
I will blind tail it. What is it?
It is the over. Well, so it was a lot of price shopping, so you have to make sure you can get that price. But we use the unabated tool, which Big T has talked about a bunch. I've talked about it. I love looking at it. But if you look, Najee Harris over on FanDuel, 71.5 rushing and receiving yards. If you look at all these other sites, they got 79.5, 75.5. Like, it's just an egregious number. I'm not doing it because I'm just price shopping and saying one number is higher than another. Also, in projections, it looked like Najee Harris's number is pretty good. Also, the wind being a factor, you would expect a little bit more dump offs holding. That price is just ridiculous. Like, if you go to DK, you bet 79.5. FanDuel, I get 71.5. That's just crazy. So that's the free bet. We got the over on Najee Harris rushing and receiving yards.
It was the same thing with Kareem Hunt. He's like 45, 46.5 everywhere. Points bet had him at 40. It's just like, and I already like Kareem Hunt. Shop around. There's no doubt about it. I'll talk a lot more football. Again, JJ, one of the best bettors I know. He's terrific at DFS too. So stick here on the Run Pure Sports channel. We'll be throwing that. Propped Up is the name of the show. Propped Up. We'll be taking your questions. We'll give all of our plays of the day as well. Gary, wonderful to work with you again. It's good to see you, pal. Football season is here, but we still got about a week and a half of baseball? 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks of baseball before it's all over? 2 weeks. All right, I'll take that. Mangone, baseball is locked. Let's go. Let's get ready. Fill out my Showdown lineups. Good to see you, Mangone. Get outside, man.
I will.
Good talk.
I'm going
Top
out
of the
today,
hour.
Holden. You're not going out. I'm going out.
I mean, I'm going out on my deck. It's about it, though. Not doing
Fair
too
enough.
much. Yeah, it's nice. Propped Up, top of the hour. Simon, get us out of here.